this is part 2. So another thing that really helped me in being able to be good about it when I had to change my diet is that, so the next advice came from, this awesome artist. Actually, I'll show you one of her. So this is Arrowyn, is that first name of the artist who does these beautiful, beautiful prints. Oh my golly. Okay, so Arrowyn had to do some similar changes to her diet, has some similar issues. And at the time, I was practically living with somebody who had already had to do a lot of, how do I say that, like dietary accommodations for people. I'm not sure how much of that was from helping run like a traveling circus of fucking bike punks in the early aughts, and I think like the late 90s as well. I'm not sure what the timeline on that was, but that person, well, Erin talked to them about the diet that she has to do, and said that I should be doing it as well for my issue. And they were just all excited about it. So like one of the big things that has made this really a lot easier for me is I have had multiple people, and I have already had multiple people in my life that are like, have worked in restaurants, but aren't right now, and like love to cook for other people, and like know how to modify diets for different, modify recipes for different diets in all these different ways. And so, and some of them are like, want a challenge of it, and it's really nice. Like I've had some really sweet, visits with people like cooking for me and getting all excited about like figuring out how to make something that I'm going to love because they know my palate and they love me, and we're like, it's very, very sweet. It makes it a lot easier. So this other person, it was awesome because there was progress. No, it was progressive. Is that what I mean to say? It happened incrementally. So it happened incrementally. I gave up different things. And I already had like some stuff that I couldn't have. And then I had to cut out, bell peppers, which I had grown to love, red bell peppers, and tomatoes. That one was hard. Salsa, it was really hard to give up. And I can't have like pico de gallo probably ever again, which is sad. But as a kid, I didn't really like tomatoes at all. So some of that was like, okay, but I like pizza, like even vegan pizza is like really hard for me to find ones that I can have because most of the time they put dairy in the pesto. If people just didn't, I'll be fine. Because I can't have bread all the time, but I can have it enough to have pizza and sandwiches. So anyways, the thing that I craved the most though, that was like the first like big major thing that I craved, like, I mean, the pizza I think was second, but I really wanted fettuccine Alfredo. And I was about to just lose my whole entire mind about not having, that in a way that I could have it. I also had remembered like trying to find pastas that were made out of not wheat and having them be gross, but luckily those started to be good, and there's other people out there who could help me find the good pastas. And I got this one from like a discount store that was really good. Like I just lucked out and I got this one that was really good and was excited about it. And that person that I was living with, when I had to reduce out all the tomatoes and every bell peppers and a bunch of stuff, I would have gone into like a little bit of a despairing thing, but they were like, I'm gonna figure out how to make you a fucking fettuccine Alfredo you can have, and started figuring it out. And it didn't even take them that long. Like, I don't know, maybe they'd had to make something very, very similar before. But because those first, like, could have been very painful cravings, were like addressed in a way that was good enough to actually address the problem without me eating stuff that I couldn't have. I think that was like a major thing that made this way better. And like the same person made me pizza too. Like we got like the frozen cauliflower crust from the grocery store, and then they made this like, there was one sauce that they made that was like a little bit weird, but I decided it was good and I liked it. And then we figured out, or we worked together to figure out what we could do to replace tomatoes in a sauce that would have the right combination of like tart, and kind of, I don't know, was it like bitterish or like blandish tomato sauce? It's hard to think about it, but we figured it out. And that was really good. And I haven't really craved things that, I think that I haven't really craved things as badly since that transitional time, because we were able to address the initial cravings. And I know that there's ways to make it good. And I found, you know, I mean, I've found ways to make myself happy with substitutions, and, you know, making certain things cover for other things in expansive ways, getting creative. You know, one of my friends here, I moved to I've moved a couple of times since then, but I moved somewhere where I have some friends, and one of my friends here, I went over to their house and they made me a simple, yummy thing that was just like rice vinegar and sushi rice and like seaweed. Oh my God, so good. And he like made it easy to have as a snack and showed me how to make like tofu and have it be super crunchy and just yum. And you could do a lot of good stuff with it. It's good because there's like novelty. I used to have a really, really limited diet, but I have found, I was a picky kid, but I have found that when I've like taken control of my diet and I'm following things that make me feel good, that I actually can eat a lot wider variety of things. Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of this stuff has been hurting me for a long time, and I just like decided to be good with it for a chunk of time. And like, especially like when I started eating pizza when I was 15, and before I never liked it. Escape from New York pizza is the best in Portland. Anyway, and actual New York pizza too. But and yeah, and I was making a lot of lasagna when my daughter was very, very small. That one's an adult now, so it is what it is. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that I don't like, my limited diet feels more expanded and expansive because it shows me, like, it helps me know what I can eat without being sick. And then I have to try new things, and some of those new things are really good. Like, one of the things that I love a lot right now is getting the ginger stir fries from Chinese food or Thai places, and I just have them leave out whatever I can't have in those, and a lot of times those are really, really tasty. Like, really tasty. And I can't have hot stuff all the time, but I can occasionally so far, which is nice, but I have to be careful with it, I think. So I'm always looking for things that are tasty without having like any kind of peppers or paprika or anything like that in them. I can have wasabi, thank goodness. I can have like, where is it? I can have Melinda's occasionally. The like habanero sauces that are diluted with vinegar. carrots, I can have those sometimes. So anyways, I'm really just like communicating about having to have dietary restrictions, but like having it be ultimately good and figuring out how to be good with it, because it is tricky. It really is. And luckily there's a lot of different products that are around that are good and can make it work. So I hope that this helps somebody. And it's a beautiful day. I don't know if you can see the rainbows. Yes, I love it when you can see the rainbows on my wall. Yeah, one of the things I do for my health, well, many kinds of health, is I have a prism in my window, and it serves a couple of purposes. And I honestly feel like my parents did a similar thing and talked to me about having it be a reason to open the curtains and let the sun in, which is really important to do if you live in places where there's mold. So anyways, to everybody's health, and yay.